My friends, welcome back to another video. It's been exactly 2 weeks since the last upload, and I've kept my promise once again. Okay, partially. I have planned a different tank from the Cold War era, but I choose to build a World War II tank since this is the best I could do, or the best thing that I grabbed out of my stash. So, you've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Today we are building a Panther II. Only one of this, well, tank, or already the hull of this tank existed once, and is still around today, I think somewhere in the US of A, and it has a Panther G turret. So, you might have seen it on the thumbnail. This turret is not a Panther G turret, so it's not the Panther that exists IRL. It has the Rheinmetall turret, which is basically just something that I think existed on paper and not really existed IRL. Normally the Panther II would have been equipped with the Panther F turrets in serial production and maybe in the future the Rheinmetall turrets. Not really sure. So this kit is from my musing hobby. I really enjoyed building it, and without further ado I just jump straight into the building and tell you what I really liked and what I disliked and what I kind of messed up during finishing touches. Alright, right at the start, after showing you guys the beautiful box art, I was tasked with small pieces. I kind of tried to record them, didn't really work out, so in the next video I might manage to get better shots for 1/35th scale. But, I mean, you can see where the pieces should have ended up and how they looked, so yeah, kinda good. Alright, and now we are straight to the weirds. Well, so I think it is nearly the same as Tiger 2 weirds. I mean, the Panther II and the maybe successor, the E50 or the E series, were meant to simplify the German tanks, light, medium, and heavy, to a point where every tank can have nearly every opponent switched with each other, so no matter if it's a light tank with the road wheels or a heavy tank with the road wheels. Anyways, the road wheels were nice. I had to sand them down a bit, but obviously because there was a seam line. Problem was I forgot one road wheel, and I don't remember which one, and then I just glued it on. So yeah, that's a problem. But yeah, they were really nice. Later on I glued those that overlapped together with super glue. I originally planned to make it like, you know, one final piece of wheels that I have to detach for easier painting, but as you can see in the background, there are already two wheels connected, and I was like, okay, two wheels super glued together is fine for me as well. And here you can see that I tried to super glue all of them together, but there was a fitting issue, so yeah, it still worked out in the end. And I still changed my mind while painting the vehicle later on. And for the front wheels, I left them detachable later on because of the rubber track. And fun fact, I didn't glue them on when I applied the track off screen. So I still have movable front wheels in case I want to take the rubber track off one day and completely redo this model. which hopefully never comes, because there's some PE parts on here that I wish would never fall apart. The backplate had to be assembled off screen as well, because there are some small pieces, and as you can see there's also some PE pieces that had to be glued on to those two storage bins there. So yeah, that was a pain, but maybe in the future with new tweezers I might be able to record that for you guys as well. I have to note here that the backplate, after being glued on, showed me some gaps. Yes, I could have filled them, but I was too lazy and didn't care. And when the complete upper hull was assembled, I realized, oh damn, there's a few gaps, and that's probably a skill issue of the kit, and not for me. And now for the engine deck, I, well, cut some parts out as well and did them off screen, because it was simply too hard to do. You can see there's already some PE parts supplied, and I love PE parts. I mean, yes, they are a pain to work with, but grids for engine decks, they are always a lovely detail. Sadly, later on while painting, after I put some metal primer on them, some holes were clogged and it looks ugly, not gonna lie. So hopefully I find a way in future to get rid of this problem. Here I had to switch my scalpel blade, and fun fact, during the building of this tank I had to switch my blade 3 times due to the many known problems of flash, cutting down on steam lights, PE pods, and you know, some corrections with the scalpel instead of some tweezers, which in return put some super glue on the blade. Yeah, luckily, as you can see, I have a few more scalpel blades, so I can work around. Also, if you want your grids to look like they had a bit of a wear and tear, so, you know, maybe the crew walked around on them as well, just get the end of your paintbrush or whatever you want, really, or a toothpick, and push the metal pieces gently against the plastic, so you have this, well, in my case round, but you have this little, you know, dents that symbolize that at least some part of the vehicle has been used and it's not factory new, even though mine is a mix of factory new, what if, and used. Oh, and if you're wondering here why I use 2 different greenish glues, the dark green one is normal Tamiya extra thin, and the lemon green one is extra thin quick type, so it dries up quicker. I used it on a few parts of this tank, not all, but yeah, I suggest for some parts just use quick type, especially when you have to apply more parts to a part that has been glued on recently. And now we are finished with the upper hull and moved to the turret. For the turret, I have to say it looks good. Yeah, I mean, that's why I bought this vehicle. I saw the turret and the box art and I was like, I want that in my collection. Anyways, turret has rangefinders. We know that from the Panther F, which would have included rangefinders, and the Panther II later on as well. And yeah, very neat. the cover for the gun mantlet, I think, has some nice metal texture, which the upper hull and the turret lack. So what did I do? I just recreated it. Here I remembered that I actually have some tweezers laying around and that I could record it. I mean, yes, it's not very centered on the camera, but you can see I gave it a shot and showed you how I normally apply small pieces. Turret has been finished, and now the tank is ready for the first modification. And now for the first heroes of this build, we have some ordinary Coca-Cola bin. We have some raffle plasto, which is basically just putty, and raffle glue. So when you want to do your own armor texture, just mix your putty with the glue until it's, you know, not watery, but until it feels like cement. Not modeling cement, but real cement. You probably know what I mean with this. And then you get a paintbrush, and then you stipple it onto the hull. So you make either, depending on what kind of tank you're working on, but you just put it on there. You see it on the video, how I did it. And then, yeah, after it's been dried, you just take your sandpaper or whatever you have, a sanding stick or sanding sponge, and then sand it a bit down, and you still have a nice and realistic looking steel texture. And now to the painting. To be honest, I left out the painting of the road wheels because it's literally the same like with the other. We are using some LP18, which is a dark reddish color that was used for German armor in World War II as a rust coat, but to prevent the steel from rusting. And this is our ground coat. I mean, you don't really see it later on, except for a few parts where I intentionally or unintentionally let it skip through. But I painted this at, what was it, like 1 in the morning, and just wanted to get the paint job done. And after our base layer of dull red was put onto the vehicle and, you know, spread on a bit evenly, or not, who knows, we are going to use Tamiya XF88 German Yellow 2 for late war vehicles. It's a really bright sand color, and that's why I use it mostly on all my German tanks, because it's the best dark yellow out there on the market. And for camouflage scheme, I decided to just take some Tamiya NATO green, and you can see that I have masked the tank. And to be honest, guys, if you look up 1946 Wehrmacht camos, you don't find much. Go on Reddit and look the tanks up, the what if tanks up that you want to build, what other guys did, or get some other inspiration. And I just took inspiration from my Panther II. And, you know, one thing led to another, and I had a nice looking sharp, well, not really sharp in some places, but sharp, triangle-ish, what if camouflage, if the war would have continued, if all would have been turned out a bit different, and you somehow found yourself in Germany in 1946 facing a Panther II. Camo looks nice. No doubt. I mean, yes, there's better camos, and yes, I could start weathering my vehicles, but I don't, and so on. Thing is, now I just show some clips of me applying the tools, super gluing them on and stuff, and some finishing touches. And then I just trade to the finished model, because during cutting I realized I recorded so much, I think at least 2 hours of video material, and that's not the type of video I want to go for, where you have to sit for 40 minutes and watch me build a 1/35 scale tank. In the next video I will make it a bit better. After I finished with the tools and stuff, I decided to put the decals on and call it a day. You can see I modified the tank and have some spare tracks on the roof. They normally shouldn't be there. And all those spare track holders on the sides are empty for now. Why are they empty for now? Because the plastic tracks that the kit has, they are nice, but they are not what I want to have on the entirety of the vehicle. First of all, it hide some of the beautiful camo. And second of all, maybe, just maybe, I will buy another Panther II with the Panther F turret, so the basically prototype version, and I will buy 3 metal tracks. And maybe I will have some metal tracks that are heavily aged and weathered by using chemicals applied on this tank in the future as well. And maybe I will put it on a diorama. So for the decals I use, those are not included in the kit. Normally for some 35th scale kits that I inspect, some decals fall out and I'm too lazy to put them back into the box, because the box has already been moved to the storage area. So I do something different and I just put them on my, work area in a corner, or somewhere where I know all the spare decals are. And with spare decals, I mean spare tickets. Those decals are from the Rebel Panther 38T, also known as the Hetzer, and I thought I could put them on the Panther II, because the numbers and insignias that came with the tank I didn't like. That's my honest reaction. I didn't like, and no crosses. There were no German crosses, and I want to include German crosses on all of my German tanks. Well, nearly all. There's some where it might have been hidden, like the Panther IV. But yeah, that's for the decals. And after I applied every decal that I had, I called it good. And there we have it, guys. 1/35 scale Panther II with Rheinmetall turret. Very nice build. A very nice build, very nice kit. Yes, it has its flaws. Yes, I messed something up. I mean, on the front plate, there are some shell impacts, and I wanted to, make a hot metal effect. I failed and then had to paint over it, and yeah, it's visible. But there's also some changes I made during the building. First of all are the tracks that I mentioned, and second of all, the tow cables. The actual cable were copper wires, and it's in my, spare part bin. Just because I didn't feel to put them on this tank. I might put them on when I build a diorama for it. Or I just leave them, or, get some tow cables from other tanks that are a bit smaller or something, and put them around, or just make my own. Who knows? But that's something for maybe a future video, or, something to show you at the end of the year, if I remembered that until then. Alright, and now we are at the fundraising. So we have €2.31 here. I know it's not much. Last video I wasn't able to collect anything, and now 2 weeks later I have got that few. Those few coins. Yeah. The weekends were pretty busy with me being, visited by friends and stuff, and going out and actually going to IKEA. Yeah, how dare I go to IKEA instead of collecting fund. Anyways, now we are at around €42 and, let me check, 26 cents. That's okay. I'm also pleased to announce that I managed to set up a Ko-Fi. So if you want, you can donate now as well. The Ko-Fi is down in my description of the videos from now on. And in the next 9 months, whatever you want to donate, you can. Minimum is €1. I don't force you guys to. It's by your free will. Just a little heads up. It's going to my PayPal account because I only have one. So I will let the money collect on the PayPal account and then, move it to my bank account. And then from my bank account, when I go and get some cash IRL, I somehow managed to get my, bills shortened down to coins and then put the coins into the jar. And now we are at the end of the video. Yes, the video is longer than normal, but that's because I, tried something new. I got a new camera angle, but you saw that in the last video. And yeah, I wanted to try something new. And originally this video would be in half an hour up to 45 minutes. I don't want to upload that long anymore. Looking at my first videos, I basically cut nothing and showed every step. So yeah, I don't want to go back to the roots. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the camo and the tank. Leave a comment if you don't like the camo or if you have any links to some pictures for what if camos that I could include in a future what if tank in my Fake Tank Friday series. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again. And until next time, I wish you a very nice rest of your day.